Greetings, friends and fellow cigar box guitar enthusiasts. Dale Puckett here, and I am ready for my next build. But first, I wanted to ask you guys, has anybody had any luck sharpening these things? This is a half round bit, router bit that I use to take the edges off the neck. This one was sitting out in the rain in Portland for like 2 years. I mean, it feels pretty sharp. Real sharp, as a matter of fact. But I noticed it was splintering the neck wood when I was cutting it, so I replaced this with a new one, and I couldn't even tell a new one from the old one as far as the sharpness. So I have had luck sharpening these guys, where you just take your grinder and grind off these guys and make the spade sharp again. But this has got a little bit of a curve to it, so I mean, I could do it, I could experiment with it, but these things are expensive, my gosh, these router bits. So anyhow, today I'm going to carve a neck. So here's the neck blank, and I like to cut or round it all the way up here past the heel, just a little bit. And then I like to start the cut right under where the nut's gonna go, or the 0 fret in this case here. So right here, all the way up to here. Let's go to the router. All right, guys, it's the middle of the night. I have one light out here, and this thing is loud. All right, this is a brand new blade. Not too bad. Now we're going to start filing it. I love using the router because you get all covered with man glitter. All right, moving right along. Oh yeah, you can see here, that line, here's the 0 fret or the nut. And it just makes sense to me to have the curve start and stop right here. And you can see here up at the heel. Now I can finish the round with the Shinto rasp. If you're building cigar box guitars and you don't have one of these, man, I'm telling you what, this is a game changer here. It's like a little blade. They're blades. They look like little hacksaw blades that are weaved together. The name brand of this thing is Shinto. This is like a 14-incher maybe, and I think they make a 8-incher or 6-incher. But it's got two sides. It's got the smooth, the fine side and the coarse side. I always use the coarse side. Now this knife, or this rasp or file, whatever you want to call it, has never gotten dull. And I've used this thing for years now. Somebody gave this to me and I forget who it was, dang it. But yeah, so you just put this thing in a vise and just start getting it to, to your own specific specifications as far as like feel and shape. Personal taste, that's it, personal taste. This is where you can just go to town and really have a lot of fun. To be honest with you, I find that carving necks is actually therapeutic. Seriously. In addition to the Shinto, I also like using these curved, half curves, whatever you want to call them. And that's so that you can get in this little spot here and make that part smooth. I also have this, it's more of a rough, and I might start off with this one here, but then I go to the fine tooth one, because I don't want all those file marks to be, you obviously got to sand them out, but this one here is less file marks when you use the fine tooth. Next, I want to point out the notch. So a couple of things here. So when I cut out this little piece here, what I call the shelf spot, this is where the piezo is going to go. This is a 23-inch scale neck. That means it's 23 inches from the 0 fret or the nut to the saddle. This is 23 inches. 23. Dink. So yeah, I wanted to point out this little piece here. This is the notch. So we carved that out so that the top here does not touch. So it sits on the shelf right here. And obviously here where the piezo is going to go, but right here it doesn't touch. Now, you just file that, or you can saw it however you want to do that. And then I just look at the light and I see if there's a beam of light through there, and I know that I'm good. So it's probably about maybe a 1/16 of an inch in there. I don't know if you can see that light. But this is an important piece here, because you want the top of the cigar box to vibrate, so to speak. This fretboard is a Home Depot ruler, and where it said made in China, I rubbed off the China and put on USA. And then the part that I cut off over here, I used for the blocks. And all that background noise, that's Mojo chewing the bone. So my friend John McNair, who sent me this box guitar blues book, Red Dog Guitars, I just wanted you to see some of this artwork in here. Crazy, 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 crazy good, man. Oh my gosh. I'm just randomly turned the page. Schematics, look at that. Schematics. Yeah, the artwork on this is crazy. But what I wanted to show you was the postage that this thing come on. They didn't get canceled. The post office never canceled these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these out and use them for pickup covers. I'll show you what I mean. One problem with this is all these little bubbles on the back. So I'm going to have to pop them. Pop all those air bubbles so that I don't have any kind of a cushion in between the pickup and the top of the cigar box. Next, we put in the frets, and I'm using a Teflon tip hammer and wire cutters with a flat bevel to get a nice clean cut. These frets are the medium nickel silver frets. And then next I get a doornail and put it in the solder, and then sucker heats up pretty good. And then I want to finish it off with some dark stain. This is walnut stain. And then I get a paper towel and just wipe off all the excess and let it dry. And then we're ready to install it. I got the large solder burns on the top and in the middle here. And then dark stained. Some walnut. Oh yeah, the tuners. I have black tuners with gold screws and gold bushings. And then these corner screws here. Those are the sheet metal screws that I salvaged from the demolition of the mobile home. So we're ready for the hinge, the saddle, and then the strings. But that'll have to wait for another night because Mojo, he's in his little cage. He was asleep till I woke him up. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next video. Cheers.